and let's make the varsity team, the cool kids, let's make them the blue team again. Like, they're the ones doing the hard work. They're the ones putting in the effort. What about the people that are building this technology and coming up with all the new stuff rather than the people breaking it? Let's make sure we're idolizing and really bringing back the industry to the things that matter, which is we creatively build things that just no one thought could be done. And then the breakers, like, we'll be real, like, it's hard to break. It's very difficult to understand all the technologies all the time about them, all of the aspects of everything. But making sure we're really promoting the blue team from our stance and our side too, even if it's just within our company. Like, hey, blue team did a great job. They detected this. They had to build a Yara rule around something that that I built that was very, very stealthy and very difficult. Like, let's highlight their work rather than the cool thing that we just did. And that goes back to the ego and being unselfish and getting a little bit more empathy around each other and promoting each other, so that we're doing the right thing for the right reasons.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've never been on the other side. I've always only been on the blue team, right? So like I'm used to like no one knowing my name. If you know my name, it's a really bad day for you, basically. And I've always like kind of played that more, I guess, like business centric, blue teamer, where it's literally like, hey guys, I have this sledgehammer over here, right? Like this is fully approved. I can use it whenever I want to. I really do not want to because that makes me, having to do a lot of work, right? How about we just resolve these vulnerabilities, And that actually gets a very positive response, right? Because I feel like a lot of these people, they're used to dealing with it's people that either are that sledgehammer or they are someone that doesn't know how to vocalize, the importance of this vulnerability being resolved and whatnot.
That
And
goes
so I
back
have
to
a
our
good,
original side, right? Like, if you don't articulate it in a language that is understood, that's business, that's risk, that's dollar amounts, that's brand reputation, like the things that matter rather than the technical aspect of I can pop a SQL injection vulnerability that dumps a database table that gives me all the hash password, like, if it's just okay, the CEO's like, what does that mean to me? Is that money? Is that it's risk? Like, what is the business language? And once we learn how to articulate that, right? Like that's when it becomes a much better conversation. And if we can take ego out of that even further and get highlight blue team's ability and really address its root cause and root cause analysis of these things, that's when we start to change companies and companies become better. But that starts with people, and that's relationships, and that's laying egos down, and all the things that are becoming very difficult for a lot of people in this day and age.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we really kind of took the audience on a journey here, right? We kind of gave them a blueprint, so to speak, without saying it, of like, really how to be successful, how to like stand out in security, right? Like we talked about maybe the key area of security that no one else really has, which is that business aspect, talking to people, getting that buy-in, right?
Yeah.
Making the connections, getting those skills that not everyone has, and becoming marketable. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that. If you do all of those things, it's like you're going to be successful. Like there's no doubt about it. It's not a if, it's a when, and you have to be very, persistent with it as well. Well, Tyler, unfortunately, like we're at the top of our time here, and I'm very strict with, when I tell you we're going to end at a certain time, we're going to end at that time. But yeah, absolutely, man. It's been a real pleasure. I really enjoyed having you on. I'm definitely going to have you back on. But,
Absolutely.
before
Not
I
a
let,
year, hopefully.
I had Jack Resider on, and he literally told me, he's like, hey man, it took you 18 months to bring me on. How about like we make this a little bit more frequent, right? Don't make it a year, like make it like 6 months. And I've done a terrible job of following up on that. And so I need to like have more guests come on regularly. I think that'll be a good flow or addition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This was definitely not the technical, interview of any kind that usually happens in some fashion. But I think from a business standpoint, you pay attention to this. This is how you build good teams. This is how you find and recruit talent. From leadership, this is how you really aspire and motivate teams to do better, be better, and get to a place of being better. And those coming up, that's how you get a good job and land at a good place that are doing these things. And hopefully they all paid attention and got a little bit out of it. But yeah, let's do it more regular. We'll find a couple interesting technical topics and see what I can talk about at a particular time.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be awesome. Well, Tyler, before I let you go, how about you tell my audience, where they can find you, and maybe if you want to, give a shout out to your company or, any work that you're doing right now.
Look, no, I mean, anybody can reach me on Twitter, X, whatever it's called now, LinkedIn. I think it's at Tyler Robinson. It's always my name in some form or fashion. Security Weekly podcast. I'm on there once in a while. I've kind of taken a step back, like I said, to kind of prioritize and highlight some of my stuff. A lot of my work is outside of those communities, but feel free if anybody's looking for mentorship, looking for communities to get involved in, has questions. Like, you can always find me on Twitter or LinkedIn, or I'm sure there'll be a link in the bio there with a couple of my handles. So just reach out on one of the 500 platforms we have out there today, and I'm usually pretty good at responding. Sometimes it takes me a while, so please be patient, as as Joe knows. But I do try and respond to everybody and make sure that I get back to you. So I appreciate everybody kind of hanging out and listening. Like I said, don't be scared to go get involved and find someone that has done this for a while and learn something from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you enjoyed